Hi everyone, my name is Vanessa NAKATE. I'm a climate justice activist, a researcher at E3G, and a new trustee at Global Witness. And this is Ava, a lead campaigner on big tech and climate change at Global Witness.
Thanks, Vanessa, and thank you for the brilliant panel just before. So we've heard a lot about the mental health impacts of climate change and what we should be doing at a society level and also individually to help combat that. I wanted to talk about something else that can actually be improved relatively easily, but this time by social media companies. So I'm going to share a couple of stories with you and also hand over to the brilliant Vanessa to talk about her experience of being a very well-known and in the public climate activist. So first off, climate scientists. I think we can all agree that we want them to keep doing their work and being able to talk about it. So we polled climate scientists from all over the world to find out about their experiences online. And the findings were really shocking. We found that half of the climate scientists that we surveyed had experienced online abuse. 1 in 5 reported depression. Almost 1 in 10 had received death threats. And all of those numbers significantly increased when we were talking about climate scientists who are regularly in the media and who regularly have publications. And perhaps unsurprisingly, nearly half of them said that their experiences had made them think twice about talking about their work, both in the media and online, and even question whether or not this was work that they wanted to continue doing more broadly. But it's not just about climate scientists. The BBC looked at their own weather presenters and the experiences that they were having online. So I've shared a couple of quotes here from some of their weather forecasters. This one particularly stood out to me. My legs were shaking, my hands were shaking. I was trying to hold it together on air. Obviously, you've got a job to do. You have to present something to the public. I felt I had a job to do, but I also felt very anxious and scared at the same time. And that was Alexis Green from BBC South Today. And at Global Witness, we are about to bring out the first of its kind poll looking at climate activists and environmental defenders from all over the world. I can't share the exact results with you yet. That's coming out next month. But there are a couple of stories that really stuck with me. So Disha Ravi, who many of you will have heard of, a young Indian climate activist, shared how when she first started posting online about the work that she was doing, a really horrible disinformation narrative spread about her, saying that she was pregnant and single, and at the same time people posted her address online. So her mother and her family were hounded in the streets. She also received loads of gendered abuse, particularly in her DMs, and threats of violence and threats of sexual violence. At the other end of the world and the scale, we spoke to George, a Jesuit priest from Germany, who, when he started going online, he did it just because he'd got into climate activism. He was basically pushed offline and pushed away from climate activism because, again, people were spreading false narratives about him. This time it was a disinformation story that he was only getting involved in climate activism so he could get closer to young people, so he could abuse them, which obviously was something that really has pushed him away from wanting to do any of that work and wanting to speak about it more publicly. Now, I'm not claiming that this is only because of social media. You know, this hate has happened for a long time, and to quote Taylor Swift, haters are going to hate. However, social media companies can do something about it, and right now what they're doing is making things much worse. So the fact that there is this engagement-seeking business model, that they want to keep people online for as long as possible, and that they know that hate and anger and disinformation is what keeps people online the most, they promote that. It's clear that that's what they do. And we also know that they are reducing their trust and safety teams, their content moderation teams. Elon Musk did that as soon as he took over Twitter, now called X, and Mark Zuckerberg also made those announcements. as soon as Trump was inaugurated, that he was also hugely reducing their content moderation teams. So these are all things that can be switched, like they could be turned on tomorrow if they wanted to. We saw that in 2021, on January the 6th, Meta instituted these break the glass measures literally in an instant. These are things that they can do if they want to, and they could do them tomorrow. But enough of me talking. Vanessa, it would be great to hear about your experiences of being so in the public eye as a climate activist.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Eva. Well, social media did a great job in helping me in my activism. However, that came with also its challenges. I think with social media, first of all, if you are a young person getting into activism of any form, if you share anything, you're going to find people saying you're not qualified enough to talk about these issues, you don't understand how the system works. And if you are a woman, it's also different because you're going to receive attacks on your physical appearance, you're going to receive attacks on how you speak. With every video that you share, there's going to be someone saying you're too loud or you're being too bossy and women are not supposed to be like that. And that's something that I have seen myself, especially coming from, a background where we've been taught how women are expected to behave. And the other is being a Black woman. That also comes with its own challenges on social media because we still live in a world where people don't think that Black people deserve to be in spaces or they deserve to share on issues like climate activism on social media. For me, my biggest challenges with social media have been on those 3 points. When I started activism, being a young person and just being a woman and being a Black woman as well.
Oh, thank you, and I'm so sorry that's been your experience. Did it ever make you think twice about the work that you were doing, being on social media? Yeah, how did it impact your work?
Yeah, when I was much younger, that was like 6 years ago, the world expected young people to constantly show up, and I would say that the youth movement, we got so much pressure to show up always. So even with attacks on social media, we kept on going and responding to, reacting to every government post or everything that fossil fuel companies are doing, because we just felt this pressure to constantly speak up. And in a way, I feel like we were not protected from the dangers of social media. And it's later on that I realized how impactful this was for me, because 6 years later, I started to just feel so tired and so exhausted. And I actually deactivated my Twitter account, my X account, like months ago. And it was hard for me to do that because people always expect us to show up. But I decided to show up for myself because it was having a lot of impact. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Did you ever reach out to social media companies? Did you look at any of the, did you report any comments that you were getting, and did you receive anything back from them?
I did report some comments. I blocked some people. I muted some notifications. But I don't think if I'd written to Mark or Elon, I don't think they would have responded. Yeah, I wouldn't know how to reach out to them.
No,
Yeah.
fair enough. What we have found with the people that we've been reaching out to with this survey is even when people are reporting, like real threats of violence, that they're just not getting anywhere near the type of responses that they need to get from all of these companies. And I know that we're over time, but just in the last minute, do you have any advice to other young climate activists and how they might also show up for themselves while also showing up for the movement online?
Well, it's really hard to advise fellow activists because the fact that they're showing up and speaking up on different social issues like climate, I think that that's really commendable. The activists that are speaking out bravely on Free Palestine, like my friend Tori, Greta Thunberg, I think they're all doing an incredible job. I think my advice would be for all of us to take care of ourselves as well. Sometimes it can be really hard not to stop. I have experienced that. There is a time when I said yes to like 5 invitations that were happening in 1 month, and I didn't know how I did that. I didn't know why I did that, but I just felt like I needed to show up. I think it's really important for us to know when to stop or when to pause. And also it's important for the older generation to really protect younger people in this space, because sometimes when you are young, you just don't know when to stop, because even the world is demanding so much from you. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Vanessa. And
Thank you.